G'day folks, how you going? Skypilot here. What's the time? It's new arrival time. Package I received recently. This is from my good friends at BetaFPV, link down below as always guys. And this is the brand new, hot off the press, 95X version 3. So I've actually got this in a kit to completely make up myself. Let's have a look inside it, see what we've got in these little packages here, and see what is what. So inside the package you will receive one frame with removable canopy. So this is where your stack will sit, and your receiver, your VTX, etc. This actually flies, which is quite unusual because it looks like it flies this way, but it actually flies upside down like so, which is pretty groovy. Comes with either black or red bumpers. This actually gets stuck on with 3M around the sides here, which I will do shortly. There comes with a BetaFPV Velcro battery strap, XT30 with capacitor all built in, ready to go. A couple of additions to the mount, just plastic molded. These are for your receiver antenna, I imagine. Non-slip battery pad and some nice big dampers to keep the jello away, and a pack of screws. And you can't have a whoop without some motors. So the motors we've got here are the BetaFPV 1105 3800 kV brushless. Of course, BetaFPV makes things nice and easy, so all you need to do is plug it into your flight controller and you're good to go. We have some more rubber dampers, some plugs, some VTX, some receiver, some radio plugs, etc. Of course, we need that for the all-in-one flight controller. To do this kit guys, you are going to need to get yourself a really good set of eyes and a nice soldering iron so that you can get everything joined up nicely. This Beta95x V3 has the all-in-one F4 20 amp flight controller. You are going to need to get yourself a soldering iron, as you're going to need to solder, for example, all of your motor plugs in. Apart from normal soldering of your power supply, this is the only other soldering you are probably going to need to do, as comes prepared with your radio and your VTX. Piece of cake. Don't forget your props guys, the Gem fan. These are the D63. I have got a few other 5 blade whoops in the workshop, and these are ideal for whoops because they make it really quiet and also really smooth. So I'm going to run this with a TBS Crossfire just for the added range. VTX is on its way. I don't have it at the moment, but it is going to be 350, possibly 400 milliwatt VTX, so that's going to be really good for around 600-700 meters anyway, so that's pretty cool. I'll have the links down below for all this gear here and my gear that's coming. I'm going to start putting this together. I will do this video in 2 lots, otherwise it will be very long and very boring. Let's start putting together these few bits and bobs, doing some soldering, putting on the motors, putting on our bump stop, putting on our props, getting everything ready for our TBS receiver and our VTX. The frame itself guys, yes, it is molded plastic and it does feel quite strong, and it's certainly going to take a fair few hefty knocks, which is really cool. And you will notice down sunk nicely into the frame, it's molded in really well, is a nice piece of carbon for added strength. Yeah, they slot into those slots really easily, so that's no hassle at all. That's the motors on. Let's do some work on the flight control. Let's get the power supply on, and we're going to solder our motor connectors on as well. And the beauty about 3M, guys, is it is very adhesive. I'm going to disappear into magnifier land and get some soldering done of my four motor plugs and my XT30 power supply. So after a little bit of soldering, I have managed to put on my Crossfire receiver, plugged all the motors in, put on my VTX, soldered up my camera wiring. I'm yet to work out if I'm going to use this antenna or another one, to see how they go on the back here. So we are making progress, which is really good. Okay, let's crack on. Here we go, let's try and finish the build. I have hooked it into Betaflight just to make sure everything is running and everything is as it should be. So that's coming up very shortly. As soon as I put together, I will revisit Betaflight before I do the final lockdown, and then we'll see if it flies. So I have plugged in the smoke stopper, hooked it up and made sure everything is running as it should. I will have at the end of the video a wiring diagram, or I might even have it on the screen, I'm not too sure yet, showing what wires go where from your VTX and from your receiver. Also, if you're running a nano receiver, don't forget you need to bridge your two connectors down here for your S-bus. Just got my VTX on the rear here. I've done all the soldering. I decided to attach expansion plate there. On the VTX, I had it mounted on top of the flight controller all in one initially, but I decided let's put it in the back here. And it also allows you to be a bit closer to your antenna. I did drill a hole in the back here so that I can more neatly attach my little 5.8 gig lollipop right hand Beta-FPV antenna. Check out the description for that one there, and that's allowing me to go through to the top of the VTX here and mount away without any hassles. So that's all pretty good. All the wires are clear, everything is where it should be. I have updated firmware with Betaflight. I'll track a link below leading you to my Google Doc if you want a copy of my CLI dump. And we're off.